And that is how the streak was ended. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Pillar and Lalime's Martian. Welcome to the postcast, always presented by the Locked On Senators podcast. And of course, the Glebe Central Pub. Head there for great food, awesome drinks, and atmosphere to match. They're at 779 Bank Street. And they've also got the Send Shuttle, all December dates after this 3-game road trip. They're already available. Get your tickets now at GlebeCentralPub.com. Senators win 6-3, the final score tonight. Pilsy, 6 multi-point performances, including a trio of Senators' top players that had 3 points apiece.
Yeah, this was a big one, guys. We said today the Sens cannot lose this, and lose it they did not. They won it. They doubled up the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-3. I'm just so glad this worked out in the Sens' favor because, Martian, I think we could have seen a world where the Ottawa Senators let a 4-1 lead slip away, and we're in a completely different planet right now. But it's a vibe cast, not event cast, so I won't get too into that. But this was not the prettiest of 6-3 wins.
No, it wasn't. They definitely got us a little bit nervous at different points in this one, Pilsy, especially that second period, right? I mean, I'm coming off a 7-game postcast loss streak for myself here. So this one's
three of us needed this.
Oh yeah, our record together has been horrible this season, so it feels good for sure. They definitely gave us a little bit of a scare, I think, but you know what? They don't ask how they did it. At the end of the day, that's 2 points for the Sens, and it's a crucial 2 points too. I think they needed this one just as bad as we did, boys.
Yeah, they crushed what we asked for tonight, which was to start early. The Senators took it to the Columbus Blue Jackets, chasing Elvis Merzlikins after scoring 3 goals on 5 shots in this game. It started with David Perron 7 minutes in. This was a beautiful rebound. Way to stick with it. Man trying to box him out. One hand on his stick. Gives it a little wacky-do and gets it past Merzlikins. That was one of 2 points for Perron tonight. And the second one brought him to 799 in his career. So he's on deck for 800. Is that a good milestone, Pilsy, or no?
Need that 800. No, I was thinking about it. Look, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. 800 points, absolutely incredible. But I think the only milestones that should be celebrated, chat, tell me if I'm crazy. 1, 100, 500, and 1,000.
Oh, you're crazy, Pilsy, man. Once you get to, 800.
What are the other ones?
I think every 100 points after 500 is more and more of a big deal, right? It's like you're really racking it in there. You're putting your name in the record books. You're putting yourself in an echelon above all these other really great players who didn't quite get there. You got to celebrate them all. You got to enjoy your time in the National League, Pils. I think David Perron should jump on the roof when he hits that 800, baby. I think that, that's beautiful.
You're getting it twisted. I'm not trying to say it's not impressive, but if we're looking at numbers to highlight and celebrate and to be like, okay, he's got to get this number, 800 is not one I'm thinking about.
Well, maybe you should.
I think you got to change your mindset on
Maybe
that.
I'm in the wrong about this. I'm willing to admit that. That's fair.
Hey, Pilsy, how about 1,134? Should that be celebrated? Because with Claude Giroux's empty net goal, he moved into a tie with former Senator Marian Hossa for 62nd on the NHL's all-time points list.
Yeah, 1,134. That is one I glossed over. So yeah, let me add that one in. After 1,000, 1,134 is the next one you're looking at. Yes,
that's the next one. And Claude Giroux, awesome to see him continuing to perform. He actually had 2 points, so he passed Marian Hossa. So they say that 1,135 is actually the more impressive number. Look, lots of big numbers happened tonight for the Ottawa Senators. I mentioned all the multi-point players off the top. We can break down each goal, but Drake Batherson, goal and 2 assists in this game. Dylan Cousins with 3 assists, and we had Michael Amadio with a goal and 2 helpers as well. Great to see him +3 and really bounce back. He didn't have his best game. Nobody really did in the last effort, but it was great to see tonight. It felt like everybody had it, and oh boy, the MacDur magic is real, and nobody knows how it works. Nobody understands it. But with 4 minutes and 59 seconds time on ice tonight, Curtis McDermott is now 7-1-2 in the lineup for the Ottawa Senators. I can't even say it without laughing, but Hey, Travis Green was on this early. You got to give him credit. He said, look, when he plays, we seem to win. And they're 3-0 since we laughed at him for that comment.
Yeah, it's just funny to think about, right? Because every time McDermott's out there, I feel like the Sens are kind of on their heels, and it looks like he's just trying his best to get off the ice as quick as he can as well. So whatever works, boys. Maybe he's a bench guy, right? Maybe he's on the bench just saying, I got you, boys. Like, don't worry about it. I got you. Like, if anything happens out there, I'm going to be there. Like, maybe he's just a vibes guy, and that's what you need in every locker room, right? You need more.
Nobody's getting confused about where the defense and the forwards are split up with that
Good
big body
grocery
separating them.
Oh, yeah.
He's a unit, man, and the chat's loving it too. We don't know how the skating really works for him, but my goodness, this guy needs to put on that jersey and tie his skates before every game now, because he is clearly a secret weapon for the Ottawa Senators. The other secret weapon, boys, is to get on your opponent early. They had the 2 goals that came about a minute and a half apart. Perron first, then Batherson. Great goal from him too. But then what I loved was the shooter's mentality from Tim Stützle to make this game 3-0. The one that gets Merzlikins pulled. And what a silky play from Cousins to Batherson over the line, and then find Stützle with space. And Timmy of the past would have stopped up, let the power play get set up, tried to dangle one guy, backhand feed to another, get open, do it all over again. He said, no, I'm just going to rip it. And he does in the back of the net. I would love to see, and anybody who's good at motion graphics, please steal this idea, because I want it so bad. You know how they show with like career goals and they have like up and down and how guys rank? I know the NHL's official account does it for different things. I would love to see Tim Stützle and Drake Batherson together. I feel like they score often in the same game too, where it's like one would go up, one would go down, one would go up. And now they're both right there at 10th and 11th in franchise history for most goals. So they both contribute tonight in Ottawa. Once they got the goalie pulled with Merzlikins, they end up giving it a little bit back. Great play from Zach Werenski, knocking down a clearing attempt, setting up Fantilli, who passes it to Boone Jenner. He beats Linus Ullmark clean there. And how about the response too, boys? Marshy, how key was that? I mean, you're up 3-1, but with the way we now know the second period went, they needed that goal with 36 seconds left from Michael Amadio.
Yeah, and talk about a beautiful goal too, right? That thing gets tied up around the half wall, goes down low to Claude Giroux, and he knows exactly where to put that thing to find Michael Amadio, who, talk about silky mitts there, Ross. Holy moly. I mean, he takes that thing, he drags it around, and he puts it right in the open net. Like a beautiful goal from him. And yeah, exactly. That's the response you needed. We talk about those goals all the time, boys. Those, what do you call them? Momentum goals. You know, a minute after a goal is scored, a minute before the period ends, and a minute after the period begins. And that was one of those ones where the momentum was completely on, Columbus's side at that point, it felt like. And just to get that goal, get that cushion right back, and basically be where you belonged in the end of that period, because I really felt like the Sens had a really dominant first period, and to come out of that thing with that goal cushion, or that 2-goal cushion, was it 3-goal cushion? That's what they needed, right? So yeah, 3-goal cushion. That's where they belong. They had a great period. They were scoring on their chances, like we talked about, and there we go.
I thought one thing the Sens did really good tonight was enter the zone. I thought they were finding ways to really enter the zone better, good crisp passes to get into the zone. And then on that goal, and I'm forgetting which one, I think the Batherson goal, maybe the second goal. Yeah. They were doing a really good job of having heads up in the O zone and being able to make a pass through defenders in space. Like that second goal, the Batherson one, Perron does a great job of getting into the zone, heads up, slowing it down, noticing that there's a slight gap between 3 of the Blue Jackets, and then finding him. And then Giroux, same thing. He finds that gap where there's just a bit of space for him to get it to Amadio, and then Amadio finishes it off. So I really like the way that the Ottawa Senators weren't exactly attacking the way that they were up against the Devils and Blues, where they're just getting shots and dominating 5-on-5 play, but they're finding those seams and making them count when they had the opportunities.
It's funny, after that homestand where they scored 0 even strength goals, we're having trouble figuring out which goal was what, with how Ottawa's offense exploded tonight. Lots of good signs in this game. 6 goals scored, gets the confidence up. A lot of the big boys were able to produce, and ultimately the Senators double up the Blue Jackets 6-3. Shots on goal in this game, 29-26. Ottawa's power play goes 1 for 2. Columbus goes 1 for 1. Ottawa gets back in the right side of the face-off battle, 61%. The hits, 23 each, and 21 blocks from the Ottawa Senators, only 11 for the Blue Jackets, and the Senators controlled this game at 5-on-5 with a great edge in the expected goals percentage. But this story of tonight's game is the early start and the big boys come into play. We have plenty of SensCentral standouts on the other side. But before we get to that, there's been a lot made recently of Linus Ullmark and not producing the save percentage that he needs to find on average to win, tied in his Sens career with Matt Murray. So we need to get that above 900 overall. Tonight was an 885 save percentage, but I still felt like he gave the boys a chance to win. Pillsy, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's tough when, like, I wouldn't say he won this game for them, but he gave them a chance to win. He had a couple big saves. And the 2 goals that were really the ones that made you nervous was the 4-2 and the 4-3 goals. But looking back on that, and Ross, maybe we'll do a film review for our everyday all access people looking at these goals. But I have a hard time blaming Ullmark for these. Like the second goal, it's an absolute blast slap shot from Fabro from the point. And the key there is, I believe it's Johnson is screening Ullmark fully. And he can't see it. Not only is it a great shot, but he can't see that one. So I'm not that upset about that. And that, oh no, that one's not on the power play. The next one is, it's a power play for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Sandy and Voronkov are battling in front of the net. And just at the perfect moment, Voronkov's able to get his stick down, and Marchenko realizes that and feeds it through the crease, and it knocks off that second in. Obviously, at that point, you're like, oh my God, it was 4-1. Now the Columbus Blue Jackets scored quick. Ullmark, get a save. You start having that kind of mentality. But with a little hindsight and calming down and the Sens getting a win here and not throwing this one away, I think we're able to look at those two and be like, okay, sure, you want to save more often than not, but those aren't necessarily his fault.
I think where I got a bit frustrated is the trend that we see where he squares up so squarely to the shooter. Yeah. But when you have a guy backdoor, you learn in goalie school that you want to cheat a little bit, at least with your left foot on this type of play, so that you can load up your right foot and at least slide. He goes Statue of Liberty. He's like, I got my guy. I'm covering this side of the net. And my defenseman, I mean, give him credit. He trusts his defenseman. But
and it's Jake Sanderson out there. I think that's what it is, Ross.
I think to get over.
I think he was worried about Marchenko not finding an option and going from the half wall and coming in tight and then trying to fit one upstairs that we've seen so many other teams on the power play get goals from just right beside the net like that. So I think he was worried about that. And then he shoulder checked and being like, Sandy's got him. Like if that's Clevin or Jensen or Martin Paula, maybe you're like, oof, I better cheat a little here. But when it's Jake Sanderson, you tend to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to be able to tie that guy up, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Sens fans in Van writing in about the goaltending felt like least worst goaltending would win this game, especially early on. Increasingly obvious that our goalies will dictate our fate. The ability is there, but it's been deflating. Marshy, your thoughts?
Yeah, it has been deflating. I mean, you can't disagree with that. And I think that Fabro goal is something that, you know, we've talked about a lot, is him not being able to track those like long distance shots. And I think the one thing that I kind of take away from that tonight is the Sens made a real concerted effort to make sure that they're getting in those lanes, right? You mentioned those 21 block shots. That's going to help Ullmark a lot, especially when those shots are coming from that long range and there's traffic in front of him. He does have a bit of a hard time tracking those long distance shots. And I don't know if he's just because he's not comfortable moving side to side and trying to get an angle, or like a lot of goalies kind of try to go over the top, especially the really tall ones, to make sure that they're able to see those pucks. His puck tracking from those long range shots has been a bit of an issue, I feel like. But at the end of the day, boys, that's 2 points right there, boys. So you can't really complain. It's you know, that's 2 points. He gets the win. And I think Allmark, he needed this win worse than anyone on this team. Like, I mean, the team needed the win really bad, but for himself, and we can see what happens now going forward. And he's been playing a lot of hockey, getting that confidence back and starting to play a little bit more like he should play as an $8.5 million goalie. I mean, that's a lot of money for a guy. He can't be mid, right? He can't be average. He needs to be a little bit above average at least. So we need more out of him. And I think we're going to start to see it. This could be a building block game for Linus Allmark. So
yeah, really
going forward, I expect it better from him for sure. Let's get above 900.
Good confidence building win tonight for the Ottawa Senators, 6-3 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. So many storylines to get into from this game. We'll do that in just a moment. But as always, the postcast is brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Check out the GCP, where the vibes are free at 779 Bank Street. It is always a great time. You can go there for a long time too. Pull up a chair and head there on Wednesdays for open mic night, or Saturdays where they have live music with no cover ever. And our favorite, of course, is the Glebe Central Pub Shuttle, where Sue likes to put that gas pedal down and get you to the CTC as quick as can be. They've got tickets available for $18 round trip to and from the rink. It leaves an hour and 15 minutes before the game from 779 Bank Street, walking distance from Lansdowne, and it'll bring you right back to the pub after the game, leaving from the exact same spot it drops you off. So it's so easy to get to and from the rink right to downtown by using the Glebe Central Pub. So head there today, and on their website, GlebeCentralPub.com, you can get your shuttle tickets and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. The vibes are free at the GCP.
The postcast is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads, money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked in or locked on to every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, whether it's the NFL or with your Ottawa Senators, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
Welcome back to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Pillar and Lalime's Martian, following a convincing 6-3 win for the Ottawa Senators. They needed this one in the worst way. They had only scored 6 goals total during their 3-game homestand. They matched that in tonight's game, and it felt like it was kind of a little bit of everything. Second period we didn't love, but it was great to see the response. We haven't talked about the third, and the Sens haven't played with the lead in the third since Montreal, and they were able to extend that one to 5-2. It was a great third there. This team, give them credit. When they have a lead in the third period, that's more than one goal. One goal is a little tricky this year, but if they have a 2-goal lead in the third period like they came into tonight having, it feels like they do a really good job of simplifying and just kind of killing the clock. Might not be the most entertaining hockey, but Marshy, it works.
Yeah, and Columbus had a few really good chances early in the period too, where Allmark made those saves that he needed to make. And then, sure enough, what do they do? They get a greasy one in the middle of the period there from Tim Stützle. Like that was as dirty of a goal as you're gonna find. That thing's sitting in the crease, and what's the name of that new goalie who came in there? I can't remember.
Jet Greaves.
Jack Greaves. This guy's swimming in the net. It's kind of lying between his pads, and Timmy just makes sure that puck gets over the line. So he gets his second of the night on that one, and that was exactly what the Sens needed. Get a little gritty, get a little dirty, play a tight checking game, shut that baby down from that period on. And it was just like, solid third period hockey. Don't get me wrong, Ross. Like I was still going into that period and be like, oh boy, like if they get an early one here, the Sens could choke this game away. But I should have known better. They're not going to let that happen after the little losing streak that they've been on here. So it's time for a win, and they got it. And I couldn't be happier about it, boys. It just feels good to do a vibe cast, eh?
Yeah,
so
no,
good.
it's Jet Greaves. Yeah, he's a member of
Greaves.
Stone and Confused Fantasy Hockey Club. We appreciate his
I forgot
services.
name. Yeah, no wonder I forgot that name. I couldn't remember that name to
He's
save my life.
a stud, Marshy. He was an absolute gamer when Belleville played the Cleveland Monsters in the playoffs. He pretty much won that series for them by himself.
Yeah,
Surprised you didn't say he was a monster, Pilsy.
Yeah, nice. That would.
Hey,
I mean, he was a monster. Yeah.
Pilsy, can you plug your ears for a second?
I mean, you mean unplug my ears.
Yeah. Hey, stick taps to Travis Green. 200 career NHL wins behind the bench. 200. Big milestone for Travis Green tonight.
Yeah, we're all about the milestones on the show tonight. Pilsy's not a big milestone guy, but that's a hell of a one for old Travis Green.
His 500th game?
200th win behind a bench.
Love it.
Probably 500th game too, honestly, with that.
Yeah, actually, it probably was pretty close.
with those Canucks teams.
Yeah, those Canucks teams, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, hey. That. Speaking of the third period, though, that was low event hockey. Like, I'm keeping notes all game long, guys, and typically I have an average about 1 page per period notes. I got 3 notes in the third period. Brady Tkachuk high stick, Columbus penalty. Columbus pulls a goalie, 3 minutes left, and then the note about the Giroux goal. That was it. And I mean, when you've got a 5-3 lead on the road, that's what you want. Low event hockey. Keep it simple. They didn't really play with too much. They weren't gambling too much, is what I'm trying to say. They weren't being risky. They were just making smart, easy plays. And we talked about on today's episode, Ross, the ice time of certain players. Now, we'll take 1 for 2 here. Tim Stützle, I wanted him to play under 21 minutes, 18:55. You like that. Now, again, score effects play a big part here. But Jake Sanderson, still a little too high, 27-17. A little high for my liking. But that is a good sign that at least as far as the forwards go, Travis Green felt more comfortable to roll some of the lines. And that's with Lars Eller being injured in this game and not returning. So that's good that he was at least able to roll the top 3 lines with a little bit more consistency than we have seen in the last couple games.
And that's a storyline we're going to follow because we are less than 48 hours away from the Senators' next game. It's a 2 p.m. start on Saturday in Minnesota, where I think we might see the Finnish firewall. I know our guy Chase, who named him that after his great performance there last season, I think it would make a ton of sense to let Levy have Saturday and get Linus ready to rock for Winnipeg on Monday, where Pilsy and I are bringing a 16-2-1 boots on the ground record to the Canada Life Center. Already had some citizens reach out that want to have a pint before the game. We're not afraid of that. We're going to Hargraves Market, and it's a 6:30 local start, so we're planning on being downtown early. Let's just say that. We haven't even touched on SensCentral standouts tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and say that we can snap it around twice. We could snap it around twice and each take guys that all had 2 points. That's how much offense the Senators were able to get in this game. I'll leave you with the stat you can use as we head into the second break. Boys, this is a nice one. The Ottawa Senators are now 8-2-1 on the road when they head into the third period, either leading or tied. So they're not letting teams get momentum at home and come back on them. Their only regulation loss was that weird game in St. Louis on U.S. Thanksgiving. Other than that, if they go into the third period tied or leading, they're at least getting points and usually finding a way to win. Standouts on the other side. You're listening to the postcast presented by Locked On Senators.
And if you want to take the lead in your finances, do it with Monarch. Guys, the holidays are amazing, but they can get overwhelming fast. Travel, gifts, parties, year-end expenses, it all adds up, and it's really easy to lose track of your money this time of year. That's exactly where Monarch can be a game changer for you. If you want to keep your finances under control this holiday season, you need to be using Monarch. They were rated Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Monarch is an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, simple dashboard. The holiday spending category can be a lifesaver. You can see exactly what's left in your gift and travel budget in real time. In minutes, you can check your net worth, link all your accounts, and keep track of all your contributions before deadlines. And it's great for couples. Shared dashboards, shared goals, and fewer wait. How much did we spend? Conversations. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code LOCKEDONNHL.
Welcome back to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Pillar, and we have Lalime's Martian with us as well after a convincing. I've said that every time, and I'll keep saying it because it needed to be convincing. This couldn't be a one-goal game where you go up 4-1 and they chip away, even 4-3. Getting that fifth goal, huge G money into the empty net, just makes it a nice tidy bow on top of that. And it'll be a nice trip for the boys to Minnesota tonight. Get in, get the time change. It'll be an hour earlier. It's not like they're getting to bed at 5 a.m, like how they made them go west to east so they would lose an hour for all the time zones that they went through. No, not this time. This will be a nice trip for them, and they'll be able to recover tomorrow before the matinee on Saturday. Pillsy, let's go through the scoring summary in this game. Then we'll get to our SensCentral standouts. The Ottawa Senators opened it up with David Perron from Dylan Cousins and Drake Batherson 7 minutes into the game. And then they doubled down the same line. This time it was Batherson, his 13th from David Perron and Dylan Cousins. Then Tim Stützle scored his 13th, matching Drake Batherson once again. Drake with the primary assist, Dylan Cousins with the secondary assist. So Batherson, Cousins had 3 points each 15 minutes into this game. Unreal. Boone Jenner makes it 3-1 from Fantilli and Werenski. And then Michael Matteo, his 7th from Claude Giroux and Ridley Gregg, make it 4-1 Ottawa with 34 seconds left in that first period. Columbus makes it 4-2 3 minutes in with Dante Fabro shot from the point. Then Dmitry Voronkov backdoor on the power play makes it 4-3. That was with 12 minutes left in the second period. But with only 2 minutes left in the period, it was Tim Stützle from Michael Amadio and Artem Zuby back in the offense, getting the shot on net. Nice tip in from Tim Stützle in front backdoor. And that was the one that was just sitting there, and he made it count. Giroux gets the empty netter. Michael Matteo, the assist there. Pillsy, your SensCentral standout after tonight's game.
I'm going with Michael Amadio, guys. I thought he had a really nice game. Like that goal that he scored in tight. First, you got to be able to be available for Giroux to hit you out front like that. And then I think normally a guy of Michael Amadio's skill set would have just been like, oh, I'm in tight. I got a great pass. Just get it on net, see what happens. But he does a little fake shot and then gets it over to his backhand and then tucks it around. That's a skill guy goal right there for Michael Amadio. And then his first assist on that Tim Stützle goal, sure, the goal ends up being greasy, but it starts off with a Jet Greaves save, and then Amadio gets the rebound. And again, in tight, normally you're just like, I got the rebound in tight, just try to get it on net and keep it going. But he has the heads up ability to see, hey, Timmy's right over there. I'm going to get it over to him. And then Timmy's not able to score right on that shot, but it leads to a puck sitting behind Greaves' pads, and that's where Timmy scrambles and gets it in. And then just to tack it off to get 3 points, he sends it over to Giroux in the Ottawa Senators zone, and Giroux's able to carry it up the ice and get the empty netter there. So I thought it was a really nice game from Michael Amadio. And Ross, I'm a little concerned. Michael Amadio might smash his 27-point consistent season total, because 3 points tonight, that puts him up to 14. And we're not even halfway through the season, and he's past the halfway mark of his typical 27 points. So this is going to be a big year for Michael Amadio, and I really like what I saw from him tonight.
Yeah, and he's a coach's darling, Pillsy, too, right? Like, I mean, he's the kind of guy on the defensive side of the puck, too. He does a lot out there. He's one of a few Senators tonight who was +3 out there tonight. And, man, I mean, you can't say enough good things. He reminds me of, like, he's like a Nick Paul style guy, right? Like, when Nick Paul finally hit his prime and started playing really well, that's kind of what he looked like. A guy who could shut down the other team's best players, but also put the puck in the back of the net occasionally and make great vision plays. Almost like a Mark Stone light kind of guy, right? That huge body out there too. Like, you got to love that. He makes the Sens forward group that much bigger and that much more intimidating. So I really, and even though he's not the most physical player at all, he occasionally throws the body around. Like 3 hits tonight, that's solid. And I just think Amadio he's just one of those really trustworthy guys that every team needs to have.
Yeah, and not every team's lucky enough to have them, especially at a value contract at $2.6 million. And it had only been 1 point in the last 5 games for Michael Amadio. You can even go back after he had that absolute heater. He really cooled down offensively, just 2 assists in his last 11 games. And it coincides with Ottawa sliding down the standings. He is clearly an important player on this team, and great to see him get some cookies tonight because hey, we got to get him to 27 points one way or another. It's been 3 seasons in a row. He finishes with the exact same amount. Well, he jumped from 11 to 14 after tonight's performance in what was game 30 of his season. So we might have to set a different bar for Michael Amadio. Can we get this guy to 27 goals? That would be something. Marshy, your SensCentral standout.
Yeah, 27 goals would be something, Ross. But yeah, I'm going to go with the other guy on the team who had 1 goal and 2 assists, and that's going to be the East Coast boy here, Drake Batherson. I've got to take Drake Batherson here. I mean, obviously there's a lot of great options, but Drake Batherson, just like his rip tonight. I mean, come on, boys. What did you call it, Ross, when Perron scored the goal? A little wackadoodle, I think was the
a little wacky-doo.
A little wacky-doo. Well, how about a rippy-doo? Because that was an absolute snipe, and he
not a rippy dink.
A rippy dink, spink dink. He threw that thing top shelf, man, and that was unbelievable.
He went diddly do upstairs.
Yeah. Now we're just getting goofy here, but
hey, bypass, buddy. Hey,
unbelievable goal from Drake Batherson there, and then the vision on the 2 assists as well. I just think he had a great game. And yeah, classic Drake Batherson. When he's hot, he's hot. 5 goals in 5 games for this guy. Should be 6 if he didn't get a disallowed kick-in goal, which I thought I was at that game. I thought it was a little bit of BS there. But yeah, Drake Batherson, boys. What more can you say? Great game from the guy.
Yeah, and he's just such a great skill player that I don't think gets enough respect around the league for how elite he is. I would love to be a fly on the wall for Hockey Canada meetings, not because I think Drake Batherson should be on the Olympic team, but I do think that if they're having conversations, he should be in the conversation of right wingers who should and could play for Team Canada.
I mean, you got Sid and Marshy who trained with him in the offseason. Like, they know what he's about. McKinnon, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go as far to say as he should be on that team, but we
didn't say he's going to be on the team. We just said he's at least in the conversation.
If they're discussing who the best Canadian players are in the NHL this season, he should be in the conversation.
But there's so many right-hand shots that I think that one gets shut down pretty quick.
Yeah, and I mean, you can make a 12 forward unit out of just centerman for Team Canada. You know what's funny? I can't even search it based on nationality, I don't think, because he was born in Indiana while his dad was playing there. So he actually he does show up. No, he grew up in Germany. He was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana, while his dad was playing there. Drake Batherson, this, I believe, is after tonight. 29 points, 27 games. Yeah, 13 goals. So that includes tonight. He is 16th in the NHL right now for points among Canadian players. So pretty good company to keep for Drake Batherson, deserving of a SensCentral standout. So we got Drake Batherson. We've got Michael Amadio. And that leaves easy cookies for me. Tim Stutzel's my SensCentral standout. 4 shots on goal. Just that we love. But when half of them go in the back of the net, even better. Now, I don't want to say that I was close, boys, because 3 assists is a long way to go. But I said that we needed to see a lot of offense from Tim Stützle, and he did that tonight. The goal, the third one of the game that put Ottawa ahead by that much, chased Merzlikins. Like, that to me is a huge moment in the game. And his other goal, huge moment in the game to give them that extra breathing room that they needed in the third period. So I thought that he was clutch tonight. I thought that his penalty was bogus. His penalty was a bench minor, but he was the guy that was a little bit loose coming off the ice, although I felt like he had both feet off before the puck was touched by the oncoming player. So I'm giving him a pass for that. I thought he was playing in-your-face hockey. I thought he had a very straight line mentality tonight. So I'm going to go with Timmy Superstar. I really enjoyed his game, and he's been eating so many dashes of late. It was great to see him put on an offensive clinic, even though he still finishes the game even.
Yeah, finishes the game even. And actually, I listened to today's episode, and I feel like Pilsy actually kind of goaded you into picking the 2 goals on top of the 3 assists that you originally went with there. So I don't know who deserves more credit for that.
Probably me. I was going to go probably me on that one because Marchie, he tried to walk away from the 2 goals. He was like, let's get 3 assists. I was like, you already called 2 goals.
Yeah. No, oh, yeah, okay. It was the other way around then. Yeah. No,
Thank you.
there you go. So actually, yeah, great. Either way, great call, Ross. I mean,
thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I worked hard on that one.
He scores 2 goals. I mean, what more can you ask for? That's beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I think we can do quick snaps for the next one. I'll give David Perron some love because I was happy to see him on the 4th line and understanding of the decision last game, playing a lot less. He got his, I think, maybe a little bit, and it's weird to say this with a veteran player, one that's so respected as David Perron. What's he at? Almost 1,300 games. But it's interesting that there's still that mental side of the game, even when you've played that much, where oh no, I'm on the 4th line. If I get an opportunity, I better take advantage of it. I thought that line tonight was great with Perron, Cousins, and Batherson. Yeah. So shout out David Perron, goal and an assist, sitting at a very important 799 career NHL point. So stick taps to David Perron. And it was also his 1,204th game. So that's where he's at in terms of overall games played. So love to see that from DP. And him producing offense gives this team a whole other dimension that they don't have.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he's going to get raised up in the lineup like that, you kind of need him to produce a little bit. So it was very good to see it, and just the extra effort from him at all times. He's always kind of just going to be a dog in deep in the offensive zone. He's always in there in the board battles, little extra shots. He's always had that little bit of a rat to his game too. So he's a factor. He's a factor out there. So David Perron's a good pick there, Ross. And
Snake style, you're up.
Good, because I'm glad, because I really almost wanted to take this guy with my first pick, but I'm gonna go Dylan Cousins, boys. And you gotta know, right? I mean, 3 assists tonight. First of all, that's fantastic stuff. But with Shane Pinto being out, he's got to elevate his game a little bit. And being on that line with Batherson and him work so well together. They have since he came over from Buffalo. But I think Dylan Cousins is really just going down right now for me is just a great Ottawa Senators hockey player. Like, that is a guy who, when his career is over, we're all going to look back very fondly of Dylan Cousins, because he really doesn't do a lot of things wrong, but he does a lot of things right. And tonight was one of those nights where everything was working for him. And that line's been really good. And I think it has a lot to do with what he's doing out there. The one thing where he can maybe make up a little bit is in the faceoff dot tonight. He was only 38%. That's something that Pinto's obviously very good at. And maybe just getting a little bit more possession when he's out there to start the puck drop. That'd be nice. But other than that, I mean, Dylan Cousins had a great game. I honestly love this guy.
Yeah, I love Dylan Cousins too. And it's nice that he's finding ways to contribute 5-on-5 because that was kind of the knock on him, is all he's doing is getting power play points here. So that's a good one, Marshy. I'm going to go with Claude Giroux. Goal and an assist here. We already talked about that nice assist that he had to find Michael Amadio out front. But the empty net goal is a good one too, because he had to do a bit of a hezzy at center ice to get wide and get that angle, and then he pops it in there. So that's a nice one by Claude Giroux. And then, as Claude Giroux does, dominant in the faceoff dot, 62.5%. He was 10 his career for 16.
Oh, I think I deleted the tab. I had his career faceoff numbers. He's 6 away from 21,000.
Yeah, the illustrious 21,000. So that's a good night from Claude Giroux. That's what you want to see. So I will use my final SensCentral standout on Claude Giroux. I was going to say Curtis McDermott, but I mean, the other guys had too good of a nights to do that. But hey, I don't care what you say. I don't care what he does. I don't care what the advanced analytics are. When this guy's in the lineup, they win. And we kind of clowned on it a little bit, Ross, in the episode. And we were a little bit pissed that of all the games they decided to scratch Stephen Halliday for, it's in Ohio, the Buckeye Ohio State fanboy himself. And that's the game you put him out for. But if you have to put McDermott in there to get the win, that is a sacrifice we are willing to make. Stephen Halliday is going to have a long NHL career. He's going to play a bunch. He's going to get his chance to play in Ohio.
Yeah, and Curtis McDermott finishes this game 1 second less than 5 minutes, 10% expected goals percentage when he was on the ice, 12% shot attempts, and it doesn't matter because he's on the ice. He's winning the game.
He doesn't even have to be on the ice. He just be part of this roster.
Well, he's got to take one shift, right? You got to get that game played. right?
Yeah, just 1 second. Just a quick spin. Let someone else get out there. That's all we need.
KHL prospect time on ice numbers.
It is also worth noting that when Curtis McDermott plays more than 5 minutes in a game, they're 2-1. And when he plays less than 5 minutes in a game, they don't have any regulation losses. So there you go.
Okay, so we need Curtis McDermott under 5 minutes, and the W's going to happen for us. There we go.
W's are going to happen. 5-0-2 when he plays less than 5 minutes in a game. But jokes aside, Senators needed that win so badly. Pillsy, final thoughts on the postcast.
I'm just so I don't even want to open this can up and look in that door too much if they had lost tonight. It's just incredible that they were able to get 6 goals here and all sorts of goals, even strength power play with the Columbus Blue Jackets pulling the goalie. It's nice to get. Yeah, it's nice to get that variety, and it's nice to get a bunch of guys that are different cookies, like 3 guys with 3 points and then multiple other guys with multi-point nights. This is a game where heading into it, you're kind of like, oh boy, if we screw this up, we're in trouble. And then you leave it being like, way to go, boys. We got our points. We doubled up on this team on the road. This is a team that we're trying to establish our dominance in the standings. So we didn't give them a point. We didn't allow it to get past regulation, even though it looked a little squirrely there at 4-3 when you had the 4-1 lead. So overall, this is a nice night. And the 3 of us, the Ottawa Senators, and the good 223 people in this chat, we deserve nights like this.
Yeah, and Pillsy didn't want to open a can of worms, but it sounded like he was talking into one there for a second. I think you got some weather out your way. It's hitting the Wi-Fi shed, but we got you loud and clear after just a minute.
Being early in the season, Pillsy, a little bit of robotics.
Yeah, well, the weather is crazy here. That's another thing. I wasn't supposed to be here for this postcast. I was supposed to have beer league, but the weather was so bad, the arena shut down for the day. That doesn't happen very often. They shut down Wasaga Beach Arena, and I pulled a little hezzy on the old Pillsy mush in the postcast, and now we got the win here. So it's a nice little treat for me.
First win of the season, the 3 of us together. Before tonight, we were 0-6-2 in 8 appearances, and we hope you enjoyed this appearance after a 6-3 Senators win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Tomorrow on Locked On Senators, we will get into the standings. It was a busy night in the National Hockey League. 13 games, meaning 26 teams in action. We still got some hate watching to do tonight. 3 East versus West games are ongoing right now. Sens fans were rooting for Edmonton over Detroit, Colorado over Florida, and Vancouver over the Buffalo Sabres. The Oilers and Avalanche are both winning right now. Oilers after 2 periods, Avalanche after 1. So enjoy the hate watching. Always easier to do after your team gets a victory. And we'll wrap up today's show with the Supers. We already chatted about Sens fans and Van. Great comment there. And Matthew Anstill. Oh, yeah. Sens fan 111. My wife is a good luck charm. And how about McDermott, the beast? Going to have a great night. Timmy with his 14th goal of the season. Man, Timmy's on pace for over 30. That's all. That's the stat for the end of the show right now, is that you need Tim Stützle to be a consistent every season 30 goal scorer, and he's on pace to get back there. Hasn't happened in 3 seasons when he hit 39. So let's get Timmy back to 30 plus goals. Make sure you click the thumbs up below the video. Let's get some Go Sens Go in the chat. We will also get into the weekend preview on tomorrow's Locked On Senators. Plenty to get, so don't miss it. Subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts, including on YouTube, and check out the Everydayer Club. The link to join is below. We're having a ton of fun on the Discord and with the bonus content. For Brandon Pillar and Lalime's Martian, you can find their social media handles below. I'm Ross Levitan, and this has been a Vibecast following the Ottawa Senators win in Columbus. We'll chat tomorrow on the Locked On Senators podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.